All right, welcome to our Friday Flex. This is your host, Keith and Joseph, coming and flexing on you. Our Friday Reflections. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful start to your Friday. As you know, last week we were talking about the theme for this series is variety, the spice of life, and the different qualities of nature based off of, in the yoga sense, the gunas, or the different binding agents.
The Hey You Guys, not the Goonies.
Yeah, not the Goonies, the gunas. And the just a kind of refresher is that everything in life, according to the yoga philosophy, has three different qualities. How we eat, how we sleep, how we act, how we love, how we hate, charity, all these things have their different qualities, that sometimes fit in the different modes of nature. So last week we talked about the nature of goodness and the foods associated with that nature and some of the qualities that are common in those foods in the mode of goodness. And just a quick recap, the things that were mentioned is that they would be fatty, and some of those fatty things we were talking about, like avocados, nuts, things like that. And they would be wholesome, meaning that they will satisfy the body when consumed. So that's just a brief rundown. Of course, you can give classes on things in the foods and the mode of goodness and the qualities and so forth.
Definitely.
And so today we'll go down the ladder of the different modes as far as eating is concerned. So the next mode after goodness is passion. So the mode of passion, I know it seems self-explanatory, what that meant. Passion, what does that means? You're going to be affectionate. No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean affection or anything. It means, so the mode of passion in the sense of the different modes of nature is that it encourages one to kind of be more, I would say that the best way to quantify it is that it forces action, or that it encourages immediate action, and that it. How would you define passion in a Western sense?
No, I was just thinking about what you were saying, because at the same time, if we use the word action, it makes it a little tricky, because food's the mode of goodness doesn't make one lazy. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
One would feel a certain way. So in terms of passion, because of course we have goodness, passion, ignorance. A lot of times we see, for example, the mode of goodness as, and another set of words I'll use would be like maintain or maintenance, right? Mm. And then passion, the word that is used for passion is like creation. Mm. And then ignorance, destructive or destruction. So passion could be a little more fiery than goodness.
A little more fiery.
Yeah, just a little more fiery, a little more intense. Mm-hmm. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a bad thing or a good thing, depending on, what purpose or intention one has behind being passionate about something. But a bit more on the fiery side. One could say, in the mode of goodness, one may consider their options a little bit better, right? They may think about, if I do this, what will be the consequence, right? In passion, one may not necessarily think about the pros and cons, or take the time to think about pros and cons, or make an educated decision. It could be something that's just sporadic, like just
Impulsive.
in the moment, or impulsive. Someone that is like an emotional shopper,
Yeah.
and they're just caught up in the energy, caught up in the excitement, the moment of whether it's a car, whether it's a home, shopping for furniture, whatever it may be. And so they're not necessarily thinking, well, if I buy this car and I have this car note because I'm financing it, do I have enough money coming in where I can actually pay that monthly payment in addition to the insurance for insuring the vehicle monthly as well, and the maintenance of that vehicle? So such a passionate person may say, wow, I'm about to get that 2024 Tundra, Pro, TRD, with the sliding bed, it just slides out, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
When in fact they should have just gotten a Corolla.
A Corolla.
So passionate in that sense, that they're not necessarily thinking about the consequences, the repercussions of, you're gonna eat your cornbread. Well, there's gonna be consequences and repercussions to this.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily thinking about that. They're just in the moment, the impulsiveness.
Yeah.
Right? If you get into a fight with someone, you need to put up your dukes. You can't just be sitting there like, well, you know what? Let me think about this. I wonder how many calories am I going to burn in this workout? You can't be thinking like that. What did you say about my mama? No, it's just, you just got to jump into action. You're not supposed to think about it. So passion, again, that's how I would describe it. Still got to work.
Still got to work. Yeah.
Still got to work.
Still got to work.
You're not going to be lazy.
Yeah.
But you may not necessarily think too much about the consequences or repercussions. Of course, obviously, in the mode of ignorance, we'll get to that later. That'll be a whole other different discussion in itself. But at least this will be more impulsive.
Right. Oh, I like that, impulsive. So, per the yoga text, I'll just briefly read the qualities of foods in the mode of passion, and then we'll dive into that. So it says, foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. And I remember when, especially, what?
I'm sorry, but those flaming hot Cheetos were so
Man, that
good.
was the same thing I was thinking about. I was like, the foods in the mode.
And the crybabies too. The blue one.
The blue.
Oh, they were extremely sour.
Oh yes, I forgot.
And so we were trying to get the biggest one. And you put that in your mouth, and it's so funny. All this blue be all over the place.
Man,
but it was great.
It was great.
I loved every bit of it.
Yeah, I forgot about the blue ones because because they come in, is it yellow?
They make, most people went for yellow.
Yeah.
But the most sour one, you would think yellow. It's actually the blue ones.
Yeah.
The blue raspberry.
Yeah.
They were more intense than the lemon.
It's so funny because I would just wait till you suck off the outer coating. And then you get to the
sweeter on the inside,
blue.
But yeah, that outer coating was sour as all get out.
That Smurf blue. Yeah.
Let be blue, fingers be red because of the Cheetos, the flaming hot ones. So that was great stuff, though. I
was thinking about, and this was a humbling moment in my early, it was, I guess, my teenage. I was a teenager because I was still living at home, and I went on this binge of hot foods.
Oh.
Of course, you had the Cheetos in there,
Of course, praise the Lord.
and you had
If you didn't, it was blasphemous.
it was blasphemous, and there was other
Did
foods.
you go to like Coney Islands or anything like that during that period of time?
No,
And the reason why I'm asking,
no.
you know how sometimes you can get like a Coney dog and you can get certain things on it that were
No,
spicy, you know, put extra hot sauce or something. Did you get like hot wings or hot
No.
links or anything of that nature?
I did not. No, I was too old.
What is it called? Buffalo wings?
Buffalo wings,
that-
the wild wings. No. I at that time in my life, I was no longer going to.
Oh, yeah,
You
my
know,
bad. I'm sorry.
yeah.
That's right. You already told us a story about the chicken.
Yeah,
Here I
yeah,
am.
yeah.
You probably getting the thought, oh, this dude asked me, am I eating chicken?
No. It just, but no, that wasn't that. I was into. I was not eating that. And so, anyway, it was a series of different hot things that I was eating over a period of time. And I remember waking up one morning, like feeling like right here, like this sharp kind of pain. I'm like, man, this is unnatural. It's not supposed to feel like this. And the first few times I didn't think much of it, you know. But I would still continue eating those things that I was eating. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to check this out. I need to figure out what's, you know, I'm a teenager. You're not supposed to experience health issues as a teenager. You know, you're supposed to be digesting everything, like a little recycle bin, you know. And I got so we went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, it's acid reflux."
There it is.
And I was thinking to myself, acid reflux, what? She said, you must be eating a lot of hot foods, you know? And she says they actually, I think it was she, so it said it actually starts, certain foods break away the lining in the stomach.
Keep going.
And I was thinking, what?
And what else does it do? When it breaks away the line in the stomach?
The
Starts-
acidity.
The acidity starts doing what? Eating
Eating
at
away,
the
yeah.
actual stomach itself, causing holes, which are called ulcers. So there are people who get ulcers if they're constantly eating foods that are in the mode of passion, like that. That's how you know it's in the mode of passion when you start getting heartburn
Yeah.
and acid reflux.
Acid reflux. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm too young for this. Ain't nobody got time for that. You know, I thought, I said, I'm a vegetarian? Acid reflux? How's that even a thing? And so, of course, I had not come to this segment in the yoga text yet to understand what was meant by causing disease, distress, and so forth. You know, so this is new to me, and I can imagine those hearing it now is probably like, I never thought about, you know, food being too bitter, too salty, to having a category, right?
Right.
But I'm here to tell you that it's true, and you or someone you know may also have this desire to eat extremely hot food, and you see that after a while, your body doesn't take too kindly to those things. And I noticed that in some cultures who kind of glorify or whose staple of eating is around hot foods, you notice they seem to have stomach issues. And I thought, okay. And after reading that, I said, okay, so there's some type of science to this. There's some type of practical application that can be used. And I noticed, and at that time, of course, true to form, I slowed down. I was no longer consuming mass quantities of hot foods.
All right, coneheads.
And I was not enjoying anymore. But I noticed even after a while, like taking a break from really hot foods, I noticed that when I did try it, I would still feel it would be a noticeable change. It wouldn't be heartburn, wouldn't be the level of discomfort that I had. But you could tell that on a physiological level, something was happening.
Or maybe still physical, you could have experienced certain things too.
Yeah.
So on a few different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was with the hot foods. I'll tell you all, this is a very transparent podcast, is one of the things that I'm working on currently, because the doctor said, "Hey, Keith, you gotta work on this," is blood pressure. And for people that are vegetarian or plant-based, it is a misunderstanding to think that just because you abstain from eating, flesh, that you will be a picture of health, or you'll be a poster person for a good physical makeup or bodily makeup. And I'm here to tell you that that's not correct.
Eating Skittles does not make you a vegetarian. There was actually a woman. Few decades ago. This is one. Of course, we all have YouTube now, but there was a time when there was a product called Google Videos.
I remember. Okay.
And and of course, Google Videos didn't do good, so Microsoft ended up buying out YouTube, and that's how that worked. But anyway, so they gave up their own product. But anyway, getting to the actual story is that there was a woman. She thought that being a vegetarian was simply just if you eat Skittles, and she was eating a bunch of junk food basically, and thought that she was healthy. But I'm a vegetarian. It's like eating Skittles and Doritos just because there's no meat or whatever like that in there doesn't mean that you're healthy. You actually have to eat real fruits and real vegetables. But one thing I was going to mention as you were talking about foods that are passionate is that you're right. One does feel that some type of agitation and irritation. It may be subtle. It's a little bit of a disturbance, and we don't always realize it. But it is something that one can notice compared to eating something that is a mode of goodness. Sometimes it is, and I'm just being straight up, sometimes it is.
Be frank.
I'm going to be me. That's what I'm going to do. And sometimes it is, depending on the situation, sometimes there are occasions where you want to eat certain things. I'll give an example. And listen to certain things. When I was younger and we would play basketball, I couldn't just play basketball listening to classical music. I love this stuff.
Right.
I needed some DMX.
Right here.
I needed, certain songs. And I needed some Warren G,
Yeah, regulate.
And I needed those Cheetos, I needed all that stuff because I knew if I wanted to do what I wanted to do, I wanted to act and behave a certain way, in a passionate way. I needed certain things so I could have that passion to do that. Otherwise, if I was eating things that was all calm and relaxing, I wouldn't have that passion that I need for doing it. Not that I'm encouraging one to just go ahead and just start eating whatever to get the energy that you need, But I'm just saying how certain foods, they affect our thinking, our speech, and our deeds, our actions. They have some effect to some degree on those things. And so DMX, Warren G, and some Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Tupac, yeah.
And Tupac.
Hit him up.
Notorious B.I.G., those were needed when I was a younger to play basketball. I don't need them now.
Yeah.
But I needed that so I could play some basketball. Street ball. We was doing street ball.
Street
we
ball.
were pushing,
Yeah.
shoving.
Yeah, it was 80s basketball.
Yep.
Yeah.
And playing pick 'em up, mess 'em up.
Yeah, actually, you pick them up literally.
Yeah, it's not two-hand touch football.
Yeah,
This is football without shoulder pads.
One must be vertical in the air and then slam.
Yeah, that's called pick 'em up, mess 'em up.
Yeah. And so the doctor said, hey, you're eating too much salt. Salt causes high blood pressure.
Sugar too.
Sugar.
Salt and sugar.
Salt and sugar.
Most people don't know that. They miss out on the sugar part. But yeah, sugar also does cause high blood pressure as well.
And you know, now that being said, there was a point in time where I was like, hey, these donuts are vegan. Why not? Let me eat the donuts. And
Big Baby Rolls. Shout out to Big Baby
shout
Rolls.
out to Big Baby. But no
Thanks, Big Baby Roll.
thanks, Big Baby Rolls. What is it? Mom says, so moderation in spices, eating, and stress are important, right? Yes, very important. Mm-hmm. And to the point of sugar is that, as you mentioned, it has the ability to increase blood pressure, but also, I mean, it leads to many other things.
Yeah. I used to eat a lot of sugar, a whole bunch of Skittles, the sour Skittles, just to get hype when I play a game of when I would go bowling or roller skating. Oh yeah, I would eat a whole bunch of sugar just to get that sugar rush.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sugar rush, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and rap music.
And rap music, the trifecta.
It was a rap.
So I was thinking, how's this possible? You know, I've been vegetarian for almost 3 decades now. Mm-hmm. High blood pressure. Say it ain't so, doc. Say it ain't so. And says, yes, it is so. So I started paying attention to the nutritional facts on the back of the packages. And I said, oh, this soy sauce. Whew.
You gotta get that green label, the low sodium.
Lower sodium. lower sodium. And I said, oh man. Like in 1 tablespoon you get, is that a fourth of a day's,
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
a fourth of a day's, serving. And I said, this can be right. And then you look at look at the muscle. Okay, I almost hurt my hand in the arm. Look at this guy. Friday flex. He's flexing for real. And so I remember looking at like the Impossibles and all these other
guaranteed
the
high
Beyond.
sodium. Yeah, high sodium.
And I'm sitting there thinking, and the Boca. I don't know if you remember Boca.
Morningstar. I used to tear up some Boca back in
used to?
2001, 2002, like back then. Yeah, I used to tear that stuff up.
And I'm looking at the back.
Sodium galore.
Man, it's like,
Sodium, sugar on all those processed foods.
and I'm sitting there thinking, but it's supposed to be, it's vegetarian. That means it's supposed to be good.
No. At the end of the day, isn't it crazy how you change up your diet for something that's supposed to be better,
Right.
and it is not better? Meaning, like, it has so much sodium, you're just like, but I was trying to get healthier on these food items, but it's not making me healthier. It has the opposite effect.
Yeah.
And then it's like in one sense, you're basically forced to boil beans again. Like old school, you know. You really got to start cooking your food now.
You're forced to make your own things.
Yeah, because you don't know what is put in there.
Right.
All the different types of salts, the sugars.
So I began to dissect the different things that I was just at one point stocking up my refrigerator with. Mm-hmm. I'll have some. And when this news was given to me, I said, "Oh man! Now I have to reevaluate what I consider tasty." And it was a reality check because here I am thinking that what's the doctor gonna find? Nothing. Like you might as well donate some blood.
Good health.
Good health. A bill. A good bill. One I don't have to pay. One that pays me. So, but no. So I start noticing these different things, and I said, okay, let me.
Mama would have like, no.
Yeah. Mom, I'm sorry. Like it wouldn't be Friday Flex if we weren't honest. But the thing is, you don't have to listen to us. You don't have to take our word for it.
Yeah, it's on the back of the package.
Yeah, it's on the back of the package. And I realized how much better I felt when I started making my own things. And it's a small change.
It does take a little effort.
It does take effort. There's no way around that. However, you can make larger quantities cheaper making things yourself.
You can freeze things if you have a
You
nice
can
size
freeze
freezer.
things.
Like you remember that tofurkey you had made?
Right.
You could, I'm sure you can freeze that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make a nice loaf or a couple of loaves.
Yeah.
And then you can even freeze that.
And I at one point, and I reminds me I need to make some. At one point, I had the measurements down, right? How much was in a loaf. And in one loaf would be a day worth of sodium, right? Because
in terms of the
quantity of sodium in that.
Gotcha.
You know, so and you're not going to eat a loaf in a day. You're not. Good luck. I mean, bless your heart if you do.
Bless your heart.
But all I'm saying is that when I was making it, I could tell it was much fresher because you're just using tofu, using wheat gluten and spices, and then you're just baking it and then letting it sit in the refrigerator and then bake it. Then you're sautéing it, not sautéing it, but you can put barbecue sauce or whatever kind of sauce you want to kind of give it a glaze, right? And I noticed I felt better, right? So after this meeting with the doctor, I had to reevaluate my understanding of health, of what I thought was good health, right? So this is the second kind of wake up call I get from the doctor. Oh, not too hot, not too salty, right? So right now we'll talk about those foods that are bitter, sour, and one of the most notable things about those foods in the mode of passion is that, as you mentioned, you become impulsive, or you become it causes anxiety, in some ways, and it makes the mind somewhat. It agitates the mind.
That is a fact. Agitates, irritate. Yeah.
Refresh my memory, but garlic is considered, is that pungent or is that acidic?
I know it's not acidic. I think onions and garlic are more of the stronger pungent category.
So you notice, so one of the things that you could test for yourself if you feel like experimenting in that way. Like I said, don't take our word for it. But if you want to test it out, try to stay away from anything that has onions or garlic in it for just 1 month. That may be too long to suggest. A couple weeks,
Maybe it depends on the type of experiment, but maybe just for a week. Like Monday through Friday.
Yeah, Monday through Friday. I'd say 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks to get a better kind of feel. So if you notice, if you just avoid onions and garlic for 2 weeks, meaning not cooking with them, making sure that when you're buying stuff, it doesn't have it in there.
It's going to be a challenge.
It's going to be a challenge because most people don't even look at the nutritional facts anyway.
It's
what
hard.
to speak of the ingredients.
The crazy thing is, it is very difficult to find things that don't have onion and garlic in it as a major flavor component.
Right.
Even seasonings.
Yeah, even seasonings. I thought lemon pepper was actually just lemon pepper.
It sounds like it should just be that.
It sounds like it would be straightforward, but no, it's not. It's not so straightforward. It's actually kind of crooked.
It got all that stuff in it, and you're like, why?
So after 2 weeks, if those who are feeling adventurous, feeling scientific, want to try it, you can see how your mood is, how your thoughts are, the clarity of mind is from the day you stop to the day you start back up. And you will notice that the clarity of thought, the level of peace that you have in your mind, you'll notice a shift in that. Because oftentimes, and like I said, we say often, don't take our word for it. Try it yourself, But oftentimes, I remember we used to go to when I was younger.
Lawry seasoning salt.
Don't say Lawry's.
Lawry's.
If you go to like an Italian restaurant,
guaranteed.
Go to an Italian restaurant.
Onion and garlic.
Oh man,
guaranteed.
Those garlic bread. Oh my gosh, so good.
That was great. Don't get me wrong.
Delicious.
Everything was
amazing.
But yeah, you want me to go there. Pizza, it's hard to find a pizza unless you get a margarita.
Margarita pizza.
And it has to be a legit margarita.
Yeah.
Because nowadays most people put onion and garlic in the margarita, which the authentic margarita does not have onion and garlic in it.
So you notice that after you go to, for example, an Italian restaurant, as soon as you leave, you feel like sluggish, you feel sleepy, you feel
good.
I feel good. Yeah. And you feel like you're kind of bogged down mentally. And you don't really feel like doing much afterwards. It's like, I need to sit back somewhere and just let the day take me. But this is one of the effects of onions and garlic. Is that not to speak of, and let me first make it known that even though I don't cook with onions and garlic, some of the stuff I have may have it in there, right? And you can tell because you can smell. For example, went to the gym 2 days ago, and normally, of course, it's a gym, so people are going to. It's natural, right? It's natural. There's going to be
gonna
something.
sweat.
They're going to sweat, right? It's natural. Who doesn't sweat when at the gym? Unless they're freaks. But
I wear a sweatsuit and everything. There's no sweat up here. I mean, I sweat underneath the clothes for whatever reason, but I don't know. I'll figure out what's going on with that later.
but I remember, I was doing a set, and someone walked past. The first thing I smelled was like,
Oh!
I smelled like a heavy, just whiff of garlic and onions.
Yeah.
And I opened my eyes. There's this girl walking past, and she was well put together. She had her hair, whatever. And so you would think that this person wouldn't smell. Of course not, surely. But it was bad. It was worse than guys. And I said, I closed my eyes back again. It's just like, this is.
I know what you're talking about. Because I was at the gym. Well, I go to the gym just about almost every day. And like there was about maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. I think I may have told you, there was that one dude. It's only me and this one dude in the gym. Strong. The funk was strong with that guy. Didn't matter where he went.
Oh, it followed him.
It not only followed, well, of course he's the source of that, but it stayed in that spot too.
Oh, like if he was
lingered.
Like if he was on a bench and he had left, you go to the bench.
Even after he wiped off the bench, it stayed on the bench.
Oh no!
Like it permeated the bench material.
It's the fabric.
And the worst part, it didn't stop there. He went to one of the little workout rooms, where you have the bikes for spin classes, and then there was like another room. Of course, they do have doors on these rooms that you can close the door. Yeah, he was doing whatever exercise, whatever crunches, whatever he needed to sweat off into the yoga room, and the door closed behind him.
Oh no.
The entire room with the lights off were well lit. That room was lit. Even though the light was off, that room was lit, well illumined.
Whoa. Oh man.
I couldn't believe it. I wanted to throw up, actually. It was that bad.
That bad.
So to be mindful, of course, myself and the world.
Okay.
I sacrificed myself.
Oh.
After he left. I went in there with a hazmat suit on. I opened up that door, propped it open so that some air circulation can take place, and I just sprayed the hell out of that spray for disinfecting the equipment.
Little clear bottles.
It's not a clear. It's like an actual aerosol can.
Oh, it's an aerosol can.
And it's for like spraying the gym bench, the workout, the benches and stuff like that, so you can disinfect everything.
Okay.
But it also works for disinfecting the air too. I sprayed the whole can out, like sprayed the floor, everything. Had to make the world right again. I couldn't let that just go down like that.
Oh man.
Because otherwise, if I didn't do anything about it, I would have been accomplished.
Yeah,
Accomplished. I'm not trying to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because that stuff was on camera too.
Yeah.
I think there's like a camera in the gym. So like I did not want to be considered an accomplice for that atrocity, that offensive
odor. Yeah. Funny. And
true stories.
These are true stories, right? And I'll even share one for myself. So one day, it was like maybe a few days after I had onion and garlic, and I had some. I normally have a certain kind of deodorant, right? That works the whole day, even after a workout. But I didn't have this deodorant. I had this off-brand deodorant one day, and I had very minimal movement. And after hours. No, it's like, oh no. And then I remember it was embarrassing. Somebody asked for a hug. I'm a hugger. I give hugs, right? And
I don't give hugs.
He doesn't because he's safe.
I'm like,
He's safe. And I gave a hug. And I remember opening my arms up. And I'm like, oh man, they
bring it in.
bring it
Bring
in.
it in.
They're gonna remember the smell. They're gonna remember the smell. And the thing about like certain foods is I guess aromas, they come out of different parts of the body, and underarms are one of those areas where aromas come out strong. And so onions and garlic, they have a way of coming out of every possible orifice, or pore that you could think of. So, but anyway, but one of the other things that it does outside of aroma, it causes inflammation. I remember you were reading about, was it?
Well, just
what brand?
take them straight to the grocery store. Natural Grocers.
Natural Grocers. Yeah.
They have a FODMAP, FODMAP.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it means, but FODMAP, and that brand FODY, FODY. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fadi, yada. Yeah.
So FODY, because I was gonna drop a hint. If you're trying to avoid onion and garlic, they actually have like a taco seasoning that does not have onion and garlic in it.
Taco seasoning?
Yeah. Without onion and garlic.
No way.
Dry, but if you're going to make certain things, right. So the cool thing about it is this store supplies, it's called Natural Grocers. I'm sure there's other health food stores that may carry FODY, but the point is that there are certain things, onions and garlic, that can actually cause irritation in one's digestional tract, and some people actually get gas from that as well, and other issues, irritable bowel, and so on and so forth. And so, there are food products or condiments or seasonings that are available that do not contain onion and garlic at the health food store. And I don't even know when FODY came out, but
I feel like it's somewhat recent. Maybe
I didn't know about it until you told me about it,
yeah.
and that's within the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So, but prior to that, I didn't know anything about FODMAP or the brand FODY. But that's something that one can take.
Yeah.
If they're doing that 2 week, avoiding onion and garlic deal,
Yeah.
that'll be a good spot to visit the health food store.
I didn't know they had the seasoning though. I knew they had the salsa and
the barbecue sauce. You told me about that
ketchup
too,
and things like that. But I didn't know they had the seasoning.
Yep,
which is a
taco
game
seasonings
changer.
and so forth.
'Cause I was actually going to make my own seasoning because I saw this one YouTube video and she used all dry spices without OG, and you can make a large quantity of it. There was one spice I was trying to find that I couldn't find anywhere, but anyway, that's going to help me cut down time because from time to time I like to make little tacos, and but yeah. So this inflammation, and we see how if those who are trying, who are courageous, who are brave enough to try this, kind of 2 week abstinence from onions and garlic, if you did have inflammation, you'll see it reduce within that 2 week period of time. And that's just OG. That's just onions and garlic. What to speak of other foods that we'll talk about, next week in the mode of ignorance. And you look at it like, why is there so much emphasis on the foods we eat? Why does that even matter? I know some people are thinking, I just get whatever is easiest.
Yeah. I'm young. I can digest this.
I could digest this.
I'm invincible.
I was raised eating this.
Bulletproof.
Yeah, bulletproof
I eat
stuff.
nails for breakfast. And poop out tacks.
Facts. And the reason why we're even talking about this is because as this series is called Variety, the Spice of Life, and while we're talking about spices right now, we're really trying to help understand like the different thoughts, the different perspectives, and the different realities based off of what it is that we do, what it is we eat, what it is we drink. And I remember, before I go any deeper, while this is on my mind, you were, a few weeks ago, I kind of pressured you into talking about it, but maybe you can talk about it a little bit more. But since we're talking about those things in the mode of passion, especially drinking and eating, so forth, I remember you talking about coffee and how what coffee does to the body.
Specifically caffeine.
Caffeine, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, I get it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Like I like my wife will tell you, I don't drink coffee, but if I'm tired and I'm gotta take a road trip, I'll have coffee, or I'll try to find something alternative that can.
Hopefully not a Mountain Dew.
Oh no, no.
I used to tell that stuff. I never really got into it. I'll tell you this. I used to mix it with other things.
Oh, okay.
You know, when you go to like Sbarro's Pizza.
Yeah.
You know, at the mall, when you're like, wow, we're going to Sbarro's, and you get like every single drink, and you mix it like that. That's when I would put Mountain Dew in there. But otherwise, I wouldn't just drink Mountain Dew.
The only time I had Mountain Dew if it was in a Slurpee.
That does work actually.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. But yeah, otherwise.
Yeah. It just the color reminded me of like some type of nuclear experiment, like some type of radioactive.
like it glows in the dark.
Like it glows in the dark. But you were mentioning about caffeine and what it does to the body. And I always think coffee because when I went to go get my taxes done yesterday, and my accountant now has no teeth. He had his teeth removed to get dentures.
Okay, that's cool.
And his teeth were, and mind you, this man's 63 years old. This person, great tax guy, by the way. However, hygienically, it's another story. But his teeth, I remember I've been going to him for almost a decade now, and his teeth kind of throw up some gang signs. They used to, like they were all kind of crossed and crooked. So anyway, he had his teeth removed. So he was somewhat self-conscious about that because he didn't put his dentures in. His mouth was still recovering from the surgery. So he was telling me, he said, Keith, you know, I when I was between the ages of 15 and 32, he said I was smoking cigarettes and I was drinking about 30 cups of coffee a day. And I thought he was exaggerating. 30 cups? How are you gonna do 30 cups? How?
You know what? Sometimes people get 32 ounces and they think that's a cup. Like in their mind, it's like it's just one cup. But I'm just saying, like some people may say, "Oh, it's just one cup of coffee," but in their mind, they consider that to be a cup. But they don't realize, when you start counting calories, like if you give yourself a chance to count calories and start like looking at measurements of stuff, it's a whole nother world. It's crazy. You be like, what? But yeah, some people may think, oh yeah, I just drink a cup. You know, those coffee cups.
Yeah.
Someone may say, oh yeah, I have a cup of coffee. That's not an actual cup.
Yeah. Because the cup is 8 ounces.
So those are like 16s or more. Some of them are 20 ounce.
Yeah. So you got 2.5 cups.
So if one actually measures it out, what they may call a cup may not be a cup. So I can understand if he says he's having 32 cups or 32 cups.
Yeah.
Because if he thought That means if he had those mugs of coffee, he had at least, or if he had one of those little coffee cups at Starbucks or Panera's or wherever you may go, that's 4 cups of coffee in that 1 cup.
Yeah, so if he had a 30,
If it's 32,
yeah,
right.
If he had a 32 ounce, it had that 40 times. Four times.
Eight.
Yeah, yeah.
8. Because it's 4. If it's 32 ounces,
yeah.
so, 4 cups in there times 8. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he was explaining that his doctor, even at that time, his bodybuilding coach was like, "Hey, you may want to chill it out." Mm-hmm. So he said he reduced it to 10 cups a day, and some people are like that. Like, you may not see the immediate effects, like especially when you're younger, but when you get older, it's like, ooh.
That's the thing. And of course, one can talk about caffeine, but being inclusive, not exclusive, being inclusive, including everyone.
Include
That one may talk about, we'll just say coffee, and I know we already had mentioned like Mountain Dew. Mm-hmm. And so again, not focusing on the caffeine at this second, but just certain beverages that are acidic. Mm-hmm. It could simply be orange juice. You know what I mean? Like, no one may think anything about orange juice or pineapple juice or grapefruit juice, or even just eating a grapefruit or just taking a lemonade. We may not think anything of it, but it's just that certain beverages are acidic. And so acidic beverages, they wear on the enamel of your teeth. And if you were to eat a bunch of lemons, not that anyone would do that, but anything that's acidic, if you were to consume something that was acidic and then think, oh, let me just brush my teeth afterwards, that's actually a bad move, because the enamel has been softened by the acidic. Could have been carbonated beverage, could have been drinking a whole bunch of pickle juice. Because a lot of vinegar and stuff like that, that's acidic. Could have been drinking a lot of coffee or Mountain Dew or whatever,
So caffeine's acidic?
No, I said not talking about caffeine right now.
Oh, because
when you have a carbonated beverage, coffee is acidic. Most people don't know that. There's different types of coffee beans, that is, but they're acidic in some way, shape, or form. So coffee is acidic, and there's other beverages that are acidic. When you have a carbonated beverage, which I'm not going to get into the chemistry of it, but it's called carbonic acid. And so carbonic acid wears on the enamel of your teeth. That same carbonic acid, just to give you an example of what that looks like, with there are some buildings in either a downtown area, mostly you see in a downtown area, that is made with limestone, and you see this type of erosion on the building. Mm-hmm. Some of that you'll see is related to the, not necessarily sulfuric acid in the atmosphere, but sometimes of a carbonic acid, that acid rain, right? There's a little bit of acidic rainwater can also wear down on buildings. So our teeth are made of calcium, and it may sound crazy, but our teeth are actually minerals. Or you can consider them to be rocks. Somebody have a degree in geology, so you can consider them to be like rocks or minerals in your mouth. And so, yeah, they have a hardness of 3. They too can easily wear down with the consumption or drinking of acidic beverages. Again, it could be coffee, it could be carbonated beverages, sports drinks, for example. It could be juice like lemonade, orange juice, grapefruit juice, or even sugary beverages. You can have a beverage that's just sugary, right? You may not think anything of it. It's not acidic. It's just sugary, baby. But then you consume it. We forget that the bacteria that is in our mouth also will enjoy the sugar. And the bacteria produces a type of acidic byproduct. Just like yogurt. How does one make yogurt? You use active cultures, right? You boil milk, you put active cultures in there. The active cultures how they make the yogurt curdle, it's actually the proteins, is because of the acid of the bacteria. So in other words, the bacteria excrete a type of acid that causes the milk to curdle. And thus you get yogurt. And so even in our mouths, we have certain type of bacteria that will take the sugars from me eating Twizzlers or me eating Skittles or whatever,
tear Twizzlers,
you know,
man.
and it will actually create an acid that will start wearing away at the enamel of my teeth. So it doesn't even have to be a carbonated beverage, or, you know, you can get a sugar-free carbonated beverage, but the fact that there's carbonic acid in there, it's still going to wear at the enamel of the teeth. So there are, outside of water, and the problem is you can't just drink any water. It's crazy. If you even look and do a little research, you'll find that a lot of the bottled water is all acidic. That's why I drink alkaline water. I purposely drink alkaline water because I do not want to consume acidic water and wear at the enamel of my teeth. So it's crazy that you can't even find something just plain and simple as water to be, you know, gentle and not an irritant in some way, shape, or form that will wear at the enamel of your teeth. But it's a reality. It's crazy. It's hard to accept it, but it's just the world that we live in.
Yeah.
So it's not just something that's caffeinated. It could be non-caffeinated beverages. And you're thinking you're doing the right thing. Oh, it's just juice, baby.
Yeah.
It'll get you too.
And that's one of the things on the list. Well, acidic, I guess, would acidic be burning? Would that be considered burning?
Acidic would be things that are just, so in other words, they point out something that's too excessive. So if it's too acidic, too spicy, too salty, too sugary, you know, too much of something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a proper balance.
Right.
So, because everyone's going to put a little bit of either
Salt
lemon juice or
right, yeah.
you know, it's not that you just can't go around your life and not eat anything and, you know, without
Just
seasoning,
water,
you know.
high pH or high, you know.
Yeah, so everyone's going to put something, but it's just pointing out that everything has to be done in
Moderation.
proper moderation
Yeah.
and balance.
And I think that's really important too, because, and this is not the kind of experience I want people to have. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You can't eat anything.
We can't eat anything.
We just got to eat air.
They just want us to eat air just like them.
But then you have a certain kind of air to eat, you know. But no, it's actually not that. It's more, you know, as we're talking about these different varieties of foods and the different modes of nature, and just what the body experiences, what the mind experiences, even to a small degree, you know, because these different ropes, you know, or these three different colors, like we talked about last week, you know, they give they shape our reality. And the yoga literature is somewhat scientific in the sense that you can, a claim is given and you can test it to see if there's some legitimacy to it, right? And so, and for those who are like, well, I gotta do onions and garlic, yes. It's also explained in the same yoga text that onions and garlic are healthy for one's immune system, you know.
But again, it's not that someone self-medicate themselves, but it's done under the prescription of a doctor. And so that's the other thing.
Yeah.
But we're not going to go down that.
Yeah, that's not that rabbit hole. But we'll stay out that hole.
Gopher hole.
The gopher hole. That snake hole.
That beaver hole.
I don't think beavers have holes.
Well, lodges. We're not going that beaver line.
So, but the goal is not like to freak everybody out, just to give some idea that even in my journey, eating too much hot cause acid reflux, too much salt and sugar, cause high blood pressure, and that we just have to be mindful.
Yeah, just be mindful. And it's so interesting. We all know, make an experiment, but we all are familiar with, for example, if something's too salty, what do we crave? To balance it out.
Something sweet.
Something sweet, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So we actually kind of know.
We kind of know, yeah. The body knows.
Yeah, the body knows, and we've seen a lot of things. And also, we have so many different examples around us. You mentioned the person that does taxes, the accountant. And we've seen other individuals who are suffering from diabetes or from other illnesses.
Yeah.
If they are taking in too much sodium and they're having issues with their heart. High blood pressure. When there's also an increase of high blood pressure, that also shows up in the eyes actually as well. I don't know why I'm not orthodontist. What is it called? Optometrist. The optometrist, they can tell just looking at your eyes, looking at the retinal imaging, look like you have high blood pressure. And if there's high blood pressure, because the eyes require nourishment, just like the rest of the organs in our body. If there's high blood pressure, and if it's squeezing or pinching the optic nerve, then one can experience a form of blindness with high blood pressure. High blood pressure, it's very subtle. No one really notices it in one sense, right? We eat something, our blood pressure goes up. But we don't realize that in some communities, it's considered to be a silent killer. So it is something that has to be taken seriously, especially if we are wanting to take good care of this body which we were blessed to have. So we have to make, and we may have certain things, ailments or what have you, but we can always, as mindful individuals, make a good deal out of our current situation.
Yeah.
And see how can we properly maintain this body to the best of our ability.
Right.
And still be happy. Because we're not wanting anyone to be miserable or anything of that nature, but we're just sharing these important details, this knowledge coming from the ancient yogic texts, to bring light or to shine light on things that many of us don't think about in terms of foods that could be in a mode of passion. Who would have known things could be in a mode of passion or in a mode of goodness or even in a mode of ignorance? But just pointing out or shining light on that food or activities, I'm sure we'll discuss all the other different aspects later on, but just shining light on those food items that could very well, although we may enjoy tasting them and seeing that they're in front of us for the holiday seasons, because who's not going to want a nice bowl of hot yams?
Hot yams, yeah.
Especially when they're candied.
I'll share something. Go ahead.
Or some cornbread or some collard greens. I mean, who's going to say no to that?
Right.
Bring on the black-eyed peas, mama.
Yeah.
I'll have what I'm having, macaroni and cheese. Who doesn't want to taste those things? And who's going to deny that they taste good?
Exactly. Who's going to deny that?
But we have to have a more balanced approach to our diet, to our nutrition, so that we can properly, maintain this body and ultimately use this body. If we have a family, we need to take care of ourselves so we can take care of our family. If we have other obligations and responsibilities, so that we can do those things. It's like if I have a car, and if I don't take good care of my car, meaning get the brakes changed or oil changed or what have you, then my car will eventually, if without oil, the engine will seize up.
Right.
Or without brakes, I won't be able to stop. I could hurt someone else. So I have to make sure I take good care of my vehicle so that I can be, one, a safe driver. I can take care and be safe for myself. And then at the same time, I'm simply using that vehicle as a tool.
Right.
So as any chef would say, a dull knife is a dangerous knife, right? But a sharp knife is a safe knife. Right. So we have to take good care of this body that we're blessed to have. And the best way to say thank you is to take good care of it.
Right. I was trying to find this comedy sketch that I thought was really would kind of quantify what we're talking about, especially in the Black community, and I would say probably other communities, but more specifically.
Everybody knows. Doesn't matter if you could be Hungarian, Polish, Russian, German. I mean, everybody has a smorgasbord of some sort.
Yeah.
You know,
ours is a little less healthier, but anyway, it was.
No.
Yeah. Well, but anyway, I'll if I can find the video, I'll play it later. But maybe next week. But no, so thank you all so much for your time. We went a little over, but this is just to reiterate is that even though we're speaking about it, doesn't mean that we're saying that one should not have salt. One should not have heat. You know, because heat also helps with digestion.
Yeah.
You know, so
it also helps with, especially like with certain chilies. It also helps to, I don't want to use the word suppress, but I guess for right now, also helps suppress the appetite a little bit, where you don't want to eat as much. So it kind of helps with, combating overeating, in one sense.
Yeah. So, all right. So this concludes our Friday Flex. Next week we will talk about those foods and the mode of ignorance, and we'll be willing to hear your perspective, your testimonies. So anyway, thank you so much, and stay flexing.
Keep flexing.